Hello all and welcome back to another wonderful video. Today we're going to be answering some questions. Today we're going to be doing a little bit of a Q&A. I'm going to be doing another one of these in 2 weeks. So if you have more questions and I didn't answer them here, then feel free to leave some questions here. But also I will be making another community post once I'm more prepared for that. But I do have one other announcement that I would like to get into before I properly start this video, and that is that I'm going to be doing a very special video. It's going to be a kind of like a game show in a weird way. I need 3 people to volunteer for this game show video type thing. I will be releasing that next Friday, so I will need to find 3 people before next Friday. Preferably we'll be recording on Wednesday or Thursday of next week. So if you are interested, let me know in the comments below or let me know on Discord, because we are going to have to use voice chat for this. Voice chat is kind of a little bit of a requirement with this because of certain things that we're going to be doing. So take up all that information what you can, and let's start with our first question here. Our first question is from Epic Failure. I think that's how you pronounce that. I'm very sorry if that's not how you pronounce that, but they said, "Hello, Denny. I was curious to what drove you to write Birthmark. Try to keep it spoiler free. I'm planning on reading it soon." So Birthmark is a book that I wrote. It's published, or rather self-published. It's on Amazon right now. I will leave a link to it in the description below, but there's plenty of other ways that you can find it. But the reason why I wrote it is because I originally wrote up like Skella's story and stuff like that, because Skella was this sort of vent character, something that I can release all of my emotions into and stuff like that. And I decided to write her origin story. It wasn't really like the perfect origin or anything like that, but I ended up writing her origin story and I really loved it. And I decided I would write more stories involving the character, and I decided that I would do a comic series involving Skella and Birthmark, because Birthmark was my first pony OC that I ever made. And the way that the comic was supposed to work is that I was going to release a Skella Origins comic, and then I was going to release a Birthmark Origins comic, and then I was going to release another Skella comic and another Birthmark comic, and I was going to bounce back between them until a certain point at which they would sort of merge in a weird way. And so I wrote out the entire comic, and continuously every single time I found an artist, the artist would eventually quit before they even finished the first few pages of the comic. And so eventually I was just like, this is not working. Let me make a book. Let me just write it out as a book instead of as this comic strip. So I did that, and I actually ended up sort of explaining this a little bit in the book itself. It's like on the very first page, it says a little bit about like the process for this and everything like that, and then it goes into the actual book itself. I really love this question because I love talking about my book. But let's go ahead and move into the next question. This next question is by Meowsers44. They said, "How long do you personally believe it'll take for Ponytown to turn into its final version, or a mostly finished version? And do you think you'll still enjoy the game by that point, and everything that would be added or changed?" Personally, I'm not sure how much I'm going to enjoy Ponytown when it's fully complete, but at the same time, I don't think Ponytown is ever going to be fully complete. I think its quote-unquote final version will be a version that the community itself determines is the final version, and then the devs themselves are like, oh, we're not done, we're still going to be adding this and this and this and that. And I think it's going to be something along the lines of like Minecraft, where it's just going to continuously get updates like every year. I think at a point there will be a moment where it's slowing down on updates, where like an update might come out like once a year, or once or 3 or 4 times every year or something like that, and then eventually just no updates or something. But I personally believe it'll take a very long time. I think honestly, I think the community itself will start saying it's the final version here in about a couple of years, honestly. I think that's when the community will say it's the final version, but it won't be a finished version or anything like that. And I do think I'll enjoy it, but I am a little bit skeptical on how much I'm going to enjoy it, because so much is going to be changing, and I'm not sure how to feel about certain things that might happen if they do happen. So let's go ahead and move into the next question, because the next question is by Ray Ernest. They said, "I'm only another filler question box. What do you think will happen to the Ponytown community once the game has been fully released?" Again, another fully released type question. And hypothetically, if 2 accounts merged, because 2 people thought they could risk it merging and not have any consequences, is it possible to recover them both and not only one of them? To answer your first question, the Ponytown community is going to change a lot once the game, progresses, because what's going to happen is once the game is in its state where the community think it's fully released or a final version, it's going to be huge. It's going to be way bigger than what it is right now. Obviously, there's certain servers that have like thousands of people on them every single day, but once the game is sort of complete in a weird way, those are going to be way more. They're going to be like 3 or 4 times bigger, and you're going to end up with more servers because of that. There's going to be all kinds of things to do, and because of that, the Ponytown community is going to be thriving more than ever, and you're going to have a lot more full servers. Hopefully there will be some sort of map expansion before this sort of thing happens. And to answer your second question, is I'm not sure it is possible to recover them. Your best bet is to contact Ponytown at ponytownhelp@gmail.com, I believe is their email. I'm not exactly 100% sure what the email is called, but you can go to the About tab or the Help tab on the main menu, and you'll find their email there. I highly recommend emailing them and explaining your situation and everything like that, because they are the only ones that can help you with that. I have no idea if it's even possible. Personally, I don't think you're gonna be able to recover them, because it's extremely dangerous to merge them, because you're going to lose progress, you're going to lose certain things. It warns you so many times on that thing that you're going to lose progress, and you're going to lose characters and this and this and that and everything like that, and they tell you not to merge them if you don't own both of them because of that reason. So I don't think you're going to be able to recover it, but I would still email them and ask them and see what you can do, because maybe there's a chance, but please do not get your hopes up. Speaking of not getting your hopes up, let's talk about Toby, because Toby said here's a question for you that they could only think of. They said, do you plan on taking a break or quitting from your career? This includes uploading videos, streaming, or playing stuff such as Ponytown, or even more so your whole YouTube career as a whole. So the answer to this is no. I don't think I'm going to be taking a break or quitting anytime necessarily soon. I think if I do take a break, it's going to be something along the lines of I'm gonna make 3 or 4 videos at once, and then I'm gonna schedule all of them to go out automatically while I'm on my break. That's what I'm gonna do. So even if I do ever go on a break, there's gonna be videos released, unless there's something bad that's happened and I'm unable to do that, such as getting sick like I did. I was really scared that I wasn't gonna be able to release videos these past few uploads because I was sick and everything. But I don't think I'm ever going to be quitting either, though I have definitely thought about it in the past and stuff like that, because it can be very troubling and very difficult to do all this. But speaking of difficult things, King of the Rats has a question. They said they're unsure how to word it, but they are curious. They asked, do you think having an art drawing system, something like Animal Drawing or Animal Jam, where art has to be approved first, would be a good idea for Ponytown? Maybe not good, but interesting. Personally, I don't see this ever being a thing, but I wouldn't put it past them to introduce this at some point way into the future. I don't think it would be necessarily a horrible thing, and I don't think necessarily it would be a very good thing. So I'm pretty neutral on it. I don't really have much else to say about it. But speaking of things I don't have much to say about, let's move into the next question, because Lavender's Home had a huge list of questions, because I didn't specify a question limit. Therefore, I'm obligated to answer all of her questions, which include, what is something you would have told your past self, or what would you tell your future self? They also asked, do you believe in reincarnation, or if there is a heaven, hell, or whatever? And they also asked, what is your favorite musical instrument and why? So this first question, it's a very obvious one for me, and that is, I would tell them to fuck off. No, I would probably tell my past self about Bitcoin. That's exactly what I would tell my past self. I would tell my past self, look, Bitcoin is gonna explode. Here's $100, fucking put that in Bitcoin right now, and in 2020, just wait until like 2020 or 2018 or something like that, and fucking sell all your Bitcoin, or sell most of it or something like that. Just trust me, you're gonna be happy about this. Just trust me. And I would be rich right now if I could tell my past self that. But what would I tell my future self? Honestly, I don't know what I would tell my future self, other than to just keep doing what you're doing and everything like that, because there's not really much that you can tell your future self that's going to benefit you, unless your future self is in turmoil, but it's impossible to know that if your future self is in turmoil. So your second question, the reincarnation thing, this is really weird because it's hard to say, because there's all kinds of like weird stories of like a lot of weird stories that all of them have like strange credibility to them, especially reincarnation, because there's a lot of weird reincarnation stories. And if like there's like the weird afterlife or something like that, there's definitely some kind of reincarnation system, if that is the case, but I don't really know what to believe when it comes to all of that weird stuff. So your third question, what is your favorite musical instrument? And this is something that strangely I've been thinking about a lot recently, and I gotta say violin, honestly, like violin and piano, like those, something about them, like hearing them, it does something for me. I don't know what it is, but it hits me in the heart and it makes me feel good. So speaking of feeling good, let's move into our next question, which is by QWERTY UIOP. They asked, do you plan on making a custom server, a Ponytown custom server, and how did you discover Ponytown? Your first question, am I going to be making a Ponytown custom server? The answer is no. Not unless Ponytown custom servers are reintroduced and there is a much easier way to actually add a custom server or like create a custom server. Unless those two things happen, where first they allow them to come back, and second, it's a lot easier than how it was previously. Unless those two things happen, I'm never going to be making a Ponytown custom server. And to answer your second question, I was new into the MOP fandom, and I was looking desperately for a video game based on it, and I couldn't find any, and the ones that I did find were absolutely trash and terrible, and then I ran across Ponytown, and I found Ponytown, and I played it, and I enjoyed it. So thank you for all your questions. I don't really know how to properly end this video, but I hope you enjoyed nonetheless. If you did, I would sure as heck appreciate if you liked, subscribed, shared, and did all those wonderful things like that. I make Ponytown content usually. I know I'm using Halo Infinite gameplay here in the background, but I really like Halo Infinite. I might be streaming that here soon on like Saturday or Sunday or something like that. So if you like Halo Infinite and you're also a fan of Ponytown or something like that, feel free to join that. But that's everything I have here for you today. Like I said, I do sincerely hope that you enjoyed and will do all those wonderful things, because when you do wonderful things like that, not only do you get access to wonderful content such as this, but you get to become wonderful yourself. And I think we all want that. So do those wonderful things, and until next time, stay wonderful.